Welcome back to another episode of Classic Model Trains. I'm Ron. I've had a lot of success with that last video I put up on fixing those Athearn handrails on that SD45. That thing has just gone crazy right now. I'm really happy with the performance of it. Really happy that I've got a lot of people that's been watching my videos. And I'm really happy that I picked up almost 200 subscribers in less than 2 weeks. So at the time of making this video, I'm pushing about 350 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing to me. I'm just so happy that people are responsive to my videos. Today I want to talk about this train shelf that I've got behind me. You've seen it in all these videos right here. A lot of people ask me if I've purchased this thing. No, I built it on my own. Like all the things that I do, I build stuff. So right now I want to show you guys some of the steps involved and what it took me to make this. And I'll give you guys some information on how you can make one on your own. Wood prices are very high currently. I was looking for a less expensive alternative to premium number 1 or number 2 grade poplar or pine trim boards. I found it with a product called medium density fiberboard, or MDF for short. This wood product is the chicken nugget of lumber. They take wood scraps and run it through a machine that turns it into fine sawdust. Mix in some wax and resin-based glue, heat it up, put it under pressure, and squeeze it out of a mold like a Play-Doh fun factory. MDF is a very cost-effective material for baseboard and casings. MDF has 0 imperfections. It is always primed and ready for paint. MDF has 0 warps or twists in the material. However, MDF is soft and less durable over time. It is difficult to repair MDF if it gets damaged. I just got back from the Orange Big Box Lumberyard store to get the prices for this material today, April 11th, 2022. Doing some quick math, today I could build another one of these 4x8 shelving units for $143.29. That's 88 lineal feet of storage for only $1.62 a lineal foot. Here's a materials list for everything I have into this shelving unit so far. I didn't want to spend the time to paint this shelf because it was a working prototype. I didn't know how much spacing I needed between shelves for my big hands to fit and easily pick up or place the trains. The first attempt I quickly outgrew with only 7 shelves to place stuff on. I figured the bare minimum I needed for the locos or cars, roadbed, and track height, and settled for 3.5 inches between the shelving boards. The outside, well, they would be 1x4s, but they're actually 3.5 inches, is framed up. It's got miter cuts on the corners here to make it look a little bit nicer. So I framed up a 4x8 box with the thing. And then the 2.5 inch boards right here, I start off at the bottom, putting one in here. And then when I decided on my spacing for the second time, being at 3.5 inches, after I built one shelf, before of course the track was in there, I'd used a 1x4, which is only 3.5 inches wide, as a spacer. And I'd set several of these in. I put the second board on. After that, put this in. After that, put this in to the next one. And I just kept working up and up and up. And this is how I got my spacing that was just right for the HO scale. If you wanted to model in a different scale, of course, you'd have to change the dimensions to get all these to fit. When I initially built it, I used staples with an air stapler and stapled it together. Well, this wood doesn't like to be stapled into the end grain that much, which causes this kind of splitting right down here. So, I'd said I've taken this apart several times and readjusted the shelves. I now found that it's better to drill pilot holes in it, and then I used these things here, we call these truss screws, about 1.5 inches long. So I drill a hole in, then I truss screw this thing together. So when I built it the third time, that's what I used, was the truss screws. And then of course these boards, the MDF boards, are very flexible. They are not very rigid at all lengthwise like this, because they're made for casing and trim. That's why there's all these little brackets that are underneath here. And if you stand back, now that you've seen them, you'll notice that they just go straight up the wall. There's a set of brackets 1/3 of the way across, and then another set of brackets 1/3 of the way across also. Now my walls in here are made out of 1x6 pine So if you were to put this onto a sheetrocked wall, you would probably want to have these brackets in a location where your studs line up at to be able to hold all this weight. I can just screw right directly into all my wood, and that's why I'm able to put them just wherever I felt like putting them. To finish up the display, I make ID tags on a publisher program, print and laminate them, cut them just right, fold, and place under the locomotives. I threw in some cool color changing LED light bulbs, which would be on this upstage truss, which is lighting up my backdrop, which is the shelving unit right here, just to make it look neat. Thanks for watching. Here's some more great videos that I recommend.